All right, if you're a real estate agent that is wondering, what is the basis for building a business that sustains, that grows, and that serves? This is the interview you're going to want to watch, because Olivia's going to share with you exactly what she does on a monthly basis that is generating over 60 transactions. And I know that you can apply these in your business and see some results. All right, Olivia, this is a conversation. Look, we've had these conversations over the years at events and different things, but I cannot wait for you to share your business and kind of the model, because I think it's one that I think I've told you this before. I don't just appreciate the amount of business that you do. I appreciate the way you do the business and what your heart is for your community and some of those things. If you don't mind, share with everybody, where you serve, kind of how long you've been in the business, and kind of what you're generating your business from right now.
Absolutely. I'm Olyvia Salyer. So I serve in coastal Virginia, in which I consider Virginia Beach up to Richmond, Virginia, and up to what we call the Northern Neck. We have so many beautiful properties here, water frontage, and of course, history. I personally live in Williamsburg, Virginia. So historic colonial Williamsburg. We're coming up on the 250th year anniversary of America, which was started here. And so I have a lot of that is the basis of my business as well. Historic homes, very old homes. So like 1709 is one I sold. A lot of horse property and a lot of water frontage. But I absolutely love what I do every single day. And I've been doing this for about 7 years now, but like to lead my business in all facets with three core tenets. I want to, of course, give all of the excellent service that I can in any way that I can. I want to continue to develop relationships with everything that I do. And then, of course, I am very, very much a proponent of building your community. My business comes from the community, and everything that I should do should either have a piece of it given back, or building, or connecting, or helping somebody in this amazing community that we live in.
Yeah, and Olivia, this is what we've talked about this before, but I love the fact this is the way that I built my business. Started in a smaller town, really got involved in the community, served on the boards, did the things, built the relationships. And so I think that there's going to be a lot of people here. Man, we're going to have about 10 specific things that they can absolutely just rip off and duplicate, but that you're doing. But let's speak a little bit to that, because the excellent service part, kind of how does that show up in your business, and what does that look like?
Currently, right now, I do a lot with social media. I'm doing above and beyond marketing for all of my clients. And to me, that's a really important thing to start doing. If you haven't gotten on the video, I know hopefully all of your viewers are getting into it. I know you talk about it quite a bit, but that is something that is now above and beyond. No one in my market is doing this kind of marketing. And so, I want to provide the best. And if there is a tool, if there is something that I could be doing that somebody else in another market is doing, I'm going to try to implement it here. And then, of course, at the very brass tacks, you need to know your contracts. You need to know how to negotiate. You need to be the best so that you can then represent your clients in the best way.
Yeah, I would say if they're not following you on social media, obviously we'll have all your handles down below. We'll have all the links down in the notes, that section. But make sure you're following Olivia, because what I love is like you say, the video stuff you're doing is unique. It is above anything else that I think anybody's probably doing in your marketplace. And the second thing it does is it is your resume for that next listing. And I know you've been seeing that where it's leading to additional business. Let's talk a little bit about the developing the relationships, because I know that's something that really drives your business.
Absolutely. So, I mean, before I even got into real estate, I did marketing partnerships, and everything was networking, everything was developing relationships. I believe that the way the world works is who you know and how you can help them. That's really what I live by. And so I try to do as much as I can. I try to be present. I try to go to a bunch of things. And then I want to always stay in touch with the great relationships that I have. That can be as easy as remembering somebody's birthday and texting them, to, bringing somebody flowers if they're having a rough day. I've brought my clients, little care packages if they're sick, things like that. It's really, I like to think of myself as a thoughtful person, and it's just how I was raised. It's how I was built, and people really resonate with that. And it's not, you can get into a great conversation about what's the line between manipulation and making an impression. And to me, it's not manipulation, because it comes from the heart. Like, I genuinely do want you to have a good birthday and feel better.
Right.
And,
Right.
And so everything that I do in terms of client outreach has that as its core. I want to give Popeyes that have meaning. I don't want to just give like some kitschy little thing that my clients are going to throw away, right?
Yeah.
I want it to be meaningful, and that creates impact.
Yeah. Hey, this is what's going to be fun is we're going to talk about this and we're going to
Yeah.
get into community involvement here as we go along. Let's get to some practical things. One of the things that
Absolutely.
I love that you do is like you're talking about is building those relationships. You want to talk about, and then let's do this. Let's just go through basically kind of the process on an annual basis of what this looks like, because that's where your business is coming from. Let's
Yes.
start with the beginning. How do you decide who it is and what does that list look like? And then let's start in January and start working our way through the year.
Perfect. So I do have a calendar. I keep a calendar on, making sure to keep in touch with people. So I do that in multiple ways. I am a Buffini fan, and so the very first book somebody handed to me on the first day of real estate school was Live a Good Life by Referrals. I forget the exact
Yes.
name. It's
Yes. Yep. Build your business through referrals or something along those
yeah.
lines. Yes. Yeah.
I've actually like got one right back there. I should
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
But I always keep one in case somebody else needs it. But anyway, it's Brian Buffini's first book. It was instrumental. It's very basic. Read it. It's tiny. And it just reminds you that these consistent things, reminding people that you are in their life and that you want to help them, really work. And so implemented his system. He recommends grading your connections in your life by A through D. And so I keep a list, and that was the very first thing I did when I got into real estate. So for everyone who's new, put together a list of everybody you know in the world. Just put it together. It may be a couple hundred long, but then you can work on that, and you need to grade them. Who do you really know well? Who do you know well that's real estate adjacent that you want to keep in touch with that can bring you maybe some business? And who do you know that you also help? Because help goes both ways. If they help me, I want to help them. And so I graded my system, and I just started to really hit the top 50. And I keep the top 50 of all of my clients, all of my referral base. I do have a full list of a couple hundred by now, but those top 50 are going to be your repeat referral people. They're going to see you, they're going to champion you, they're going to be excited for your success. And those are the ones you want to focus on. My top A's all give me like several referrals a year. And that's how you get both great clients who appreciate you because they're getting the introduction to you from somebody else who loves you. It's great, great way to start. And then
Right. I know.
also, it keeps you more mentally stable by working with better clients, I would
Yeah.
say.
Olivia, let me ask you this. Does the list change over time and how often? And what would be a reason for someone to move into the list and someone to move out of the list if you're doing that?
Absolutely. I actually update my list monthly. And, as you get closings, as you get more client base, as you grow your relationships, you're going to want to keep it updated. Maybe you met a new lender who's now given you a referral. We'll add them into the list and see how that goes. Now, when you are going through your list and checking on it, you might quote unquote demote people because you've not heard from them. They've never given you a referral. They've never talked to you again after a deal. Well, those people go to the bottom, right? You want to engage with the people who want to engage back with you. And so it's not hard to rate your list, because you'll know, like, those people, I see them at the grocery store and they're like, "Oh, my friend is selling. I'm going to give her your card. Do you have one?" That's the kind of relationships you should be seeking.
Yeah, and look, I think a lot of people, biggest mistake a lot of people make is they may do that first step of making the list,
Yeah.
but then they don't have a system to keep in touch with that list. I know you're very systematic in this. Let's start with, because you calendar this stuff out. Let's start with like January, and I know we're going to give some examples here, and this is where I think the rubber meets the road, and these are things that people can do in their own market as well.
Right out of the gate, these are things that I did it as a new agent, and I really want you to focus on that. It doesn't take a lot of money to build a referral system. That's why I started that way. I didn't have a big marketing budget to work with. So, I wanted to think of things that I could either put together myself because I'm a little crafty, or, go to the dollar store and get a great pretty pack of thank you cards and use them. So really that's the kind of frame of mind you should be in. And even now, I'm grateful now to be a top agent, and I'm really, got that marketing budget, but I still do these things. This is the foundation, and I still get the most leads this way. So, to preface that, I like to start in January with a direct call to action. And so, because I already have my list, sometimes when you do, I like to do handwritten notes, and please believe me, it's a miracle. I know you've received one before, Jimmy. Could you read it? Because
Uh,
my handwriting is
yeah,
terrible.
I could. I
It's
could.
so, but you know what? You just got to do it. It's fine. I don't
Yeah.
have great handwriting, but I still do it. So don't be upset if you have bad handwriting. Just do it. So start the year off. I try to hit my top 50 to 60 most recent clients, and it is a direct call to action. We want to start the new year strong. I'm a very optimistic person, so I like to go ahead and do a direct handwritten note to all of those people, and it takes some time. Believe me, I split it up between a couple days, but if you prepare that and time block it's easy to actually get done. And the message is very simple. Thank you so much for supporting me this past year. In the new year, I am looking to help more people, and I can even give you the exact script so that you can include it. And
Great.
yeah, so I'll share that. Please use it. It's a great blanket script. If I want, obviously I go through my list. If I want to add something a little personal, you can add something small. But because it's so many letters, you want to keep it direct and to the point. Thank you for supporting my business. Moving into the new year, I would love to help anybody else just like I helped you. Put a card in there. Please let me know if you know anyone who needs help this year. That's the important part because it's direct. So I send those out. Out of the 50 to 60, I usually receive at least 10 to 15 text messages when they're received, and at least 3 to 5 listing appointments from that direct mailer at the
Yeah.
beginning of the year. And again, like if you've had a bad experience with a client, well, maybe don't send them that, right? You want
Right.
your good
Yeah.
experience. We all have had some bad experiences, but focus in on your clients who are going to do that. But you need to do the direct ask, and people get, I think, a little awkward about that. They don't want to ask for help. They don't want to ask for business. The direct ask is the most important part because they won't know to do that unless you ask them. So
No,
that's
this is
number one.
great. Yeah, listen, this is great because I'm with you. I mean, you're starting the year with gratitude, but you're also starting it with here's how you can help me.
Yeah.
And it's like these are folks that you have helped. I mean, this is not someone that you're just cold doing
That's
this. I mean, you've
random.
got a relationship. You've helped them either purchase or sell a house, or they've sent you referrals in the past, or you've sent them referrals. Either way, but this
Right.
is a great way to start it. Now we've kind of set the tone in January. How long until you send your next one, and what does that one look like?
So my goal, and if you're just starting out, and again, you don't have that big budget, I would say a good goal is every quarter, or if you can get there every, 1 to 2 months. I start
Mhm.
the new year stronger. So I do that letter in January, I do a pop by in February and in March. And so in February, I like to use, easy things that you can tie into culturally. So of course, Valentine's Day is the one that I choose. But if you even Google, pop buys, or I use Chat GPT sometimes to give me more ideas on maybe changing those up, right? What's a good pop by for February? And it can be market specific. Like we don't get a lot of snow, so I'm not going to bring people snow stuff, right? But
Right.
if you are in a really cold market, maybe you want to do something around that because that's the snowy season. But for me, I go to Target and I get a high quality but not expensive, like under $5 each is the goal, I think, set of candies. And I get about 50 of them, and I put them into a nice bag with a really lovely little pop by note, and I deliver those. And in the age of all of the cameras and surveillance, you want to deliver them. And especially when you're starting out, you've got time, right? So how are you going to use it? You want to deliver them, and you want to try to see as many people as you can and just be like, hey, just popping off some chocolate, happy Valentine's Day, enjoy. Very quick and simple. But my note specifically says, and I'll give you these so you can link them,
That'd
but
be great.
my
Yeah.
clients are the heart of my business. Thank you for your referrals.
Oh, that's so good.
And then it's
Yeah,
my
that's great.
information, big cell phone number. It's a picture of hand hearts.
Yeah.
And very simple but effective. So
Yeah.
that's in February. So we drop off those. Yep.
I just wanted to ask this because you mentioned this, and I want to kind of just make sure we do this. Let's say they do have a Ring camera. Do you
Yeah,
speak into the Ring camera,
I
or
do.
what do you do if they're not
No.
there?
I am not an awkward person. I just go for it. And I recommend, hey, don't worry about what people are thinking. They're gonna love you for you. So I do
Right.
I like get up there. I'm like, hey, dropped you some candy, enjoy. And I
That's
leave.
great. That's
But then
great.
they laugh, they're giggling, and they're like, I'm at work right now. And I'm like, well, I put it in the shade. It won't melt. So it's that way again, like we're trying to build a relationship, right? I'm a human being with a personality. I'm gonna use
Yeah.
it. Right. And you
Yeah.
should be authentically you. And so, like, if you don't like Valentine's Day, well, then do something else. It's fine. But
Yeah. I love the fact too. I mean, well, let's say this. Let's say that you knock on the door, no one's there, and there's no Ring camera. What is that? Do you just leave it, or what do you do
I
there?
don't. So that is when I take a picture off my phone and I text them. And I'm just like, hey, left you a little something, don't miss it. Because a lot of people don't use their front doors. And so they might not actually receive it. And if I'm going to go to the trouble of making it and buying it and dropping it off, I want them to get it. So
Right.
yeah, super easy way to re-engage. And then you've already got a text conversation going, and they can say, oh, by the way, my neighbor's selling, oh, hey, you should call this person. They need help, and that just, you want to give it the easiest entry point to you getting the lead. And so
Yeah.
you do the work on the back end to allow them to just give it to you.
Yeah.
That's the sweet spot. So
Yeah. What I love about this too is you're building the momentum for your year. With having the consistency out of the gate, and you're building into that spring market. So you mentioned you do March also. What does
I
March
do
look
March
like?
as well. So I like to always try to include the community when I can. And I have a great group of Girl Scouts here in Virginia that I like to support. And I, of course, am a huge fan of cookies. Who isn't? And so I go a little bit bigger because, again, we're supporting the Scouts. So I buy probably 100 boxes of cookies. And I really dial it down. There's so many flavors. I dial it down to Thin Mints and Samoas. That's it.
Yeah.
That then we can pick and choose because there's no one who's unhappy with either of those choices, right? And so I buy a ton of them. And then you can also engage your socials with these kind of things. You can get a lot of extra marketing while you're doing these pop buys. So, for Valentine's Day, I'll take a picture of like, hey, dropping off some client love, put it on your social media. And then the clients who receive it will comment on that. And that will create even more engagement. So for the Girl Scout cookies, I asked them to deliver them. So the Girl Scouts actually deliver them to my house, and I get a picture with them, and I thank them for all of their hard work throughout the year. And then sometimes they even ask me questions about my business, and they want to grow a business themselves, and that to me is something that again we're getting cookies. I'm supporting the community. These awesome girls hopefully have a role model involved. And then all my clients get cookies too. And so I see no downside. But I put that together, and same thing, like you always want to put a note on the gift. So for that one, it is thank you, big thank you. No matter how the cookie crumbles, your referrals are the best part of my business.
The great thing about
And
this,
it's
Olivia, when I'm just
me, but it's me.
no, but that's you're just being yourself, and that's what your clients are. That's who they know and love. And so, one thing I would say is if I'm thinking in my head, I mean, we're talking about $20 per
Yeah,
person basically for these three. Now, I know you got some time involved,
I do.
but if we're talking about this with 50 people, we're talking about $1,000 total.
We are.
And you've had three touch points with the 50 to 60 most important people in your business at the beginning of the year, which really
And
sets the tone going into the. So, all right. So now we've done the first 3 months. What is it? I mean, do you go April? Do you wait a little bit? What does that look like on
But
the
then
next
I,
kind of
I
thing?
wait a little bit because I did do a pretty heavy
Right.
marketing at the beginning. And also, like you said, that's about $1,000 after 3 months. So we pause for a little bit. That's when the marketing, on socials kicks in. That's when hopefully you've got some listings that are starting to go that you can use those to market to your audience instead as well. But anytime, I do want to note, anytime anyone gives you a referral, you better be thanking them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and for me too, like within this, like if I get a referral, like let's say I gave you cookies in March, you remembered that your neighbor wants to sell and you got me that listing appointment at the end of March. Well, I'm going to send you a nice gift card for a dinner. Or, if you're not quite there yet in your career, just send a thank you note. A handwritten thank you note has gotten me so many listings versus other agents. And I often go up getting 3, 4 agents after the listing appointment, thank you note in the mail. I have won so many listings that way just because I am grateful and they should know
Yeah,
it. And so
absolutely.
that's how you then reinforce the pop by. So when they give you a referral, you thank them, they're going to give you more referrals. And
Yeah,
so
no, that's
especially,
great.
or if you need to, if you don't have those available funds, wait till it closes and then buy them a gift from the closing as a thank you. So anyway,
Yeah,
so we've got probably a good 10 to 15 leads at least from just those Popeyes, often more. For me, I have tried to track it. It's hard to continue to track, but the amount of times that I've got a client just being like, I love getting your gifts and I haven't talked to them in 6 months or I never see them. And then they're like, hey, my neighbor's selling. You should call them. That it's a synergy. It's just how it works. So we skip April, May. Sometimes I do flowers in June. It really just depends on how the year is going and if I feel like it's a little slower, then maybe get something going in May or June. There's a lot of different options you can do for that, but I hit July hard as well. And so this is a highly military area. Obviously, I am in the the middle of the most historic area of America. So Independence Day is a great opportunity. And a lot of times offices will like collaborate and go in on a huge flag order. So getting individual flags and you can get one for every client. And so sometimes I go a little bigger on these because the flags are like 50 cents. So maybe I'll get 100 flags, right? And I'll put a little note on those and then I will put them in the yard of every single client again. And, as they get home, especially like it really resonates with the military, it really resonates with those people who may not have been able to buy a house without your help. But my note for July, and I deliver these like the 1st and 2nd of July, so a couple days before to allow it time to disseminate. But my note on this one is I am dedicated to helping people achieve the American dream of homeownership, and I truly am. Your referrals make a huge difference in my business. Thank you for always thinking of me when it comes to anyone. I would be delighted to help them with all of their real estate needs. So it's a little bit more aggressive, but we've waited a couple months. However,
right,
it's still a gift and it's a useful gift, and
right.
it makes their yard look patriotic and people love that. And I don't want to get into politics. We don't need to talk about that at all. It doesn't matter. I have people all across the spectrum. They still enjoy this gift. So if you are worried about that, it has not affected me giving this gift, and I have given it for the last 7 years.
And when we're talking about the flags, I mean, we're talking about like, smaller flags that just
Uh,
kind of you can
that
stick
you
down in the
stick
ground.
the ground.
Okay,
Yeah, and
right.
I have some extras in my closet. I should have brought one out, but it's
That's fine.
basically a flag, and then I take some just ribbon and I get these note cards printed nicely. And again, that's really not that expensive. It's maybe like $10 to get some nice
Yeah.
note cards printed. You punch a hole, you tie them on there pretty, you make it look good. And so, I'm a little craftier, not everybody is, but you can do that in a bunch of different ways that suit you. Okay.
Olivia, do you tell them like when we were talking earlier when you dropped the candies off, you said you either talked to the camera or you sent the text. Do you do that with the flags or is it just when they come home they see it?
I do a little bit of both. And so again, your clients, you know where you're delivering. If they have the camera, I'll wave the flag and I'll put it in the ground so it catches the camera. And so that's been effective. If not often, if it's somebody I haven't talked to in a minute, or I feel like, hey, they may know some people, I'll take a picture and just be like, hey, I left you a little something, and I'll send it to them. And so again, like text messages, very, very, very useful way to keep in touch without being obnoxious, without being overbearing or too much. But
Yeah.
again, you're not asking for something, you're just like, hey, stop by, here you go. And a lot of my clients, they don't want me to ring the doorbell. Like I feel like post COVID, people are not into door knocking. They do not want to be
Right.
approached on the street. And I don't, I like to be a little classier. Like I don't want to cold call you. Like I don't appreciate when people call on me when I'm not ready for it. And so, I'll just do a quick drop by. I'm not bothering them, and they almost appreciate that more.
Yeah, no, this is good. So here we are. I mean, we're basically at the midpoint of the year. You've touched them 4 times with
Yep.
very specific personal, and it's to your VIP group. And let me just say this, if you're someone out there and you're like, well, I don't have 50 to 60 people, one's better than none.
Yeah, just
Just
start.
start wherever you are and build this. And we've got mutual friends that have now VIP listed at 150, and they have assistants that help with this stuff. But I love the personalization here. So we're really building, I know, towards your client event at the end of the year. But so here we are, we're in July. What is the next touch point that you're doing to this group?
So in my market, August is slow. People are traveling. I don't really hit August, but I do hit the beginning, mid of September. It's as the fall comes in, I want to do something cute for fall. And so I go to one of our local, it's called Pumpkinville, and they have a lot of local pumpkins. And I go and I buy tiny little cute pumpkins because you can leave them outside, you can bring them inside. It's a great little gift. And they're like, I don't know, $1 each. And
Yeah.
so, but they were homegrown here in Williamsburg. And so trying to support that community too. I grab those and I get them as like the day they open. That's the day that I get the pumpkins. And they know me now. I'm the girl who buys all the pumpkins. And so we get those. And then I write a note that's just super cute. It's happy fall. I'm ready to carve out your referrals. And again, just something cute like that makes it more impactful.
Yeah, this is so
Also
good.
used in the past instead of carve. I've done, thank you for helping my business grow. I'm so grateful to be your trusted advisor. Never hesitate to reach out if I can help anyone else. And I'll give you both of those cards for this so they can kind of see. But
That'd be great. We'll have it. We'll have that down bottom for a way that people can get those things in the
yeah,
description on YouTube. And listen, I mean, obviously these handwritten things, similar. I'm assuming the same way that as you drop those off on the porch or you knock on the door or whatever you do, you're following up, whether it be in the Ring camera or whatever, just to make sure they know. Correct?
make sure. And I always say, just do it now, like,
Yeah.
but don't put them there, take a picture and text later. You're never going to do that. No,
Right.
that just take the extra 5 seconds, plop it on the front porch. I like to put it right on the mat and either if they're not home, take a picture or wave at the Ring camera and just leave it there. Even if I know they're home, if I know that they're clients who like their privacy, like I won't ring the doorbell. I'll just text them and be like, left you a little something, don't miss it. And
Right.
I mean, everybody loves that one just because it's cute. It's perfect. It's fall. And those pumpkins last like all the way to December. So it's a good gift because they can actually use it. And so
Yeah. Yeah.
after that, we have Halloween. Easy, easy one. I mean, just give some people some candy. They like it. It's not hard.
Yeah.
That one I like. I love Halloween, but that one's super easy. You just get a big bucket of candy. I just put it into a bunch of little cellophane bags, tie it up pretty, and the note on that one is, my clients are the sweetest part of my business. Thank you for your referrals. And
That's great.
and again, like I have my clients like fight to get the candy before their kids find it. Because like that's the only candy they get. All the kids get the candy at Halloween. So no, this is for them. And so the parents get
Right.
really excited. They're like, I got candy.
Yeah, yeah, this is great. And then look, I know we've got a lot of our friends, they do great with the Thanksgiving pies. I know you've got a little different take on this because
Yeah.
you've been consistent with this. What does that look like? Do you do anything at Thanksgiving?
So Thanksgiving is another great time to do it. And I know I like when people are zigging, I like to zag. I don't want to do the same thing as everyone else, and that sets me apart. Everybody here does the pies. I
Yeah,
know I could tell you 15 agents right now who do the pie pop pies. And I also don't like the pies because the way they do it is they make your client come to you and you're sitting
right.
in the tent. No, no, that's not I want to help you. I'm not going to make you drive to me to get your pie. And so that's just my hot take on pies. So instead, I also do a very heavy mailer of handwritten notes. I buy 50 to 100 Thanksgiving themed notes and
Mhm.
I go through and this is not a call to action. This is a moment of true gratitude. I do not ask for referrals. I just thank them for supporting me and tell them how grateful I am to have people like them supporting my business. That is it.
Yeah, yeah. Olivia, I will give you a little spin on this too, that I've always done is I will do this. And now we've started doing it with some agents where they're doing them ahead of time. So it's not crunch on Thanksgiving morning, but we're
Right.
doing video texts. And we're just
You,
literally
I've
like,
gotten those from you and they're great.
yes, exactly. And so all it is I'm just sitting out there. I mean, come on, I'm in the South. I fry the turkey. We fry turkey. I
I
fry
love a
turkey.
good fried turkey. Don't tempt me with
So
a good time, Jimmy.
I know. So here I am out there. I get the turkey going. It's going to take about an hour, hour and 15 minutes typically, depending on the size of the turkey.
Yeah.
I literally sit out there and I say,
Yes.
"Hey, it's Jimmy. It's Thanksgiving morning. I'm frying this turkey. I will show it, and then I'll say, and I was just sitting here thinking about the people who have really made a difference in my life and specifically in my business. And I just want to say thank you for being so supportive. Hope you're surrounded by family. Hope you're having the best Thanksgiving ever. And I just wanted you to know that on this special day, I was thinking of you guys. Just I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you
I
soon.
love that.
And it just literally, that's just a personal way. I've had people that will text me back and say, I'm sitting at the table with all of my family, and they were like, your realtor sent you that? And they're just amazing. It leads to conversations.
It
I've had
does.
them send and say, "Hey, look, check out my brand new grandbaby, or
I
check
know,
out our
and
our
it
nephew." And
feels
it's like
so
it
good. It just
becomes
feels so good.
exactly, and it's different, and
It's
that's one of those
different.
things, and it costs you
Nothing,
$0. You know what I
nothing.
mean? So
Yeah,
now we're heading into this is what I love because I want you to now as we're talking about this because you do this with these individuals, but a
yeah.
big part of your business is your community involvement. Can you talk a little bit about some of the specific places you're involved with, and then let's go into
Into my big event.
December and what you do? Okay.
Yeah, so pre-December, all throughout the year, I do, I wanted to help this community. I am grateful to live here, and I think that we as realtors should give back. This is where our business comes from. And so if you're not involved with the community, I mean, I just don't understand that because you're serving the community. And you should be grateful for that community to give you these leads. So I am on a few different boards. I serve on the Economic Development Authority Board for the city of Williamsburg. And so that, again, I'm even grateful to be on that. I was appointed by city council, and it's, a group of us, I think it's only 8 people, who help make decisions for the community to bring in more business, to develop new business, and to keep our community strong for everybody who owns a business. And so, that's something that, with the real estate lens, like I'm grateful to help be a part of. I'm grateful to meet these new business owners who are trying to build here. And it really is one of the strongest ways I have gotten just to know so many of the important people in our community. And they're doing such a good job. They want to know somebody else who's doing great at their job so that they can help everybody else in the community too. Right. And so it's really just goes hand in hand. You help somebody, they help you, and that's how we grow. And so
Yeah.
that's a big one. It's more commercial based, but again, all of the people who serve on that are movers and shakers here. And so I've gotten untold amounts of referrals just from that without asking for them, because I'm now looked at as an expert in real estate. I have shown that, and it's a non-paid position, it's a volunteer role. And so I give my time and advice and expertise to this, and it comes back to me with people who want to work for me for that exact same reason. And so
Yeah.
and so that's a really big one. It's a month, every month there's a big meeting. And so it's really not even that big of a time suck for me. I'm grateful to be there. Plus I get to learn about stuff before people know about it, which is fun. So
Yeah, I know.
all of our new
Hey,
restaurants,
let me mention this because I think people will be able to relate to this. Every single community has at least one big event in that
at least
community.
one.
I mean, in my hometown, we had a fall festival kind of thing. Then we also had a something in the spring, and it involved parades, it involved fireworks, it involved all these different things. Your town is no different. And I think this is a great model for people, the way that you get involved in that. Can you speak to what y'all do in December also?
So the next step, so that's kind of my baseline. It happens all year round, but I specifically join forces with our local Chamber of Commerce. And you as a realtor, I recommend it. The Chamber of Commerce is a group of business people trying to grow. And so get involved with your Chamber of Commerce, and they often are the ones who throw these big events. And these big events are often crowdfunded. They're not paid for by the city. They're not, we have to raise money to do them. And so one of the things that Colonial Williamsburg is known for is our Christmas parade. And so it's been running now, I want to say almost 50 years. It is the Hallmark moment. If you want to feel like you're in a Hallmark movie, come here in the first Sunday of December every year, because it really feels like it. And like 20 to 30,000 people come to our tiny little town to watch this parade. It's a big deal. And it's like 160 floats. It's a nighttime parade. It is glowy. It is magical, truly. And everybody loves it. So I got lucky. I like to think that success is where luck meets opportunity. When you're prepared to walk through that door, that's when you can really grow your career. And so I just got lucky. I bought a house a couple years ago, and turns out it is the first house on the parade route. And so, I saw my big front lawn and I was like, we should have a party. Who doesn't like a good party, right? So this just started out not even as a way to get clients. It was like, hey, I'm the first house. I've got all this space. We can have, our elderly people come sit down. We can corral the kids, make it a safe space so that, they're not running around traffic and stuff. And so I just had an idea for a party. Originally, it was very bootstrapped. I emailed out my invites. I made a little graphic and was just like, hey, come enjoy the parade with me. No ask, no nothing. We provided drinks, we provided some food, but it wasn't like like I made chili. I made so much chili, Jimmy, that first year. Oh my, we did away with the chili. So now all
Right.
I do is I serve Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets and hot dogs.
I love it.
But
Yeah.
it's because it's half kids and half clients. And so this is like I go out to everyone because I'm grateful to have enough space for anyone who wants to come and join me for this event. So nowadays, in the lead up, we're on our fourth year now of this party. And so like right after Thanksgiving, that's when the invite goes out. So again, it's very structured the way that I market this. And so the invite goes out, reminder, it's the Christmas parade. Let me know if you're coming. Just very, very chill, just quickly. But I send that to literally anyone I have ever worked with in terms of clients, servicers, friends, family, people I want to work with. Hey, I know you're not listening for a while. Just bring the grandkids. It's a great opportunity just to get everybody together. And for me, it's great because I can go see everybody in one place. So efficient in terms of like saying hi, talking to them. But because the Chamber of Commerce plans this parade, I really strongly felt that I needed to give back. I got so lucky with this just being here at my house. How could I give back? So I reached out to the vice president of the Chamber of Commerce. I was like, listen, like I want to be involved with the parade. I want to help you guys. Let me know. I've got a sales background. I can help you maybe with like bringing in sponsors or doing whatever. So immediately they asked me to join the parade committee. So now I'm on the
Mhm.
parade committee and we do meet every month throughout the whole year. And so I get to help with like the theme. And this year's theme is rock and retro. It's going to be great. And so, that's the theme for the floats. And we get involved and we get all of the different local businesses to hopefully become sponsors. And, sponsorship is not terrible. It's 300 to 500 bucks for the lower level, but we can give you social media. So me being a marketing expert helps the Chamber of Commerce sell these sponsorships. And then not only that, I am also a sponsor. I do strongly feel that the business I get from this party is so great that I should be putting money towards this parade because it's also awesome. I don't want it to ever go away. So of course I'm going to put some money on that. So I am the merriment sponsor of the parade, aka Parade Start. So I get to like help cut the little ribbon, the parade goes, and then I go back to my party, which is handy because it's right next door. So
Mhm.
the parade
That's
lines up
right.
on the side of my house, and my turn, the front of my house is the first turn into the parade. So we get to watch Santa try to make the corner in his semi truck. It's great. It's really good. So anyways,
Hey,
yeah, so go ahead.
what I would love to do here is break this down because, like you were talking about, a lot of people, when they first start out, they think it's got to
Set
be
up.
this grand event. All it was just inviting some people, you cooking
I
some
just opened
chili,
my
providing
house
some
up to
drinks.
them. Yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah, did I spend a little bit of money to have alcohol? Yes, but that first 2 years, people brought their own. It was like more a BYOB. They were
right,
just so grateful to have a place that was safe for their kids to watch the parade, where they could
right.
relax and enjoy it too. It was phenomenal. Now, year over year, it's always a grow, right? So we had a first successful year. What can we do to add to it? First year I got involved with a title company I work with a lot, and they now do the full hot chocolate and hot cider bar. So, they run that and I don't have to worry about it at the party anymore. They get to, brand that. And it's really cute. They set up the whole table with like fixins and stuff you can put in hot chocolate. Or if you want to spike it, of course, we're going to have some fun. But, whatever way you want to do it, they can provide that. And now I also then, now I have a radio show, also something that came from the Chamber of Commerce, by the way. When I joined the Chamber of Commerce, they gave me a radio interview and I met the local radio station and they didn't have anyone advising on real estate. And so now I have a weekly radio show there. And, again, this is how things happen when you just go out there and try to make good relationships. So they come and they now provide all of the music. They professionally DJ my big event. So their logos are out there. They bring really expensive, like high-end DJ equipment, and I don't pay for that. They're just happy to be here. And I get great music, right? For the event. And so it looks very professionally done. But again, like you can see, it's just been a grow and it's pretty bootstrapped. Like you don't need a lot of money to make a good event happen. And so, going back to the Chamber of Commerce, being able to support that, they support me because I'm a sponsor. Like any of my social media that they see, they post on their pages. It's a collaboration. They want the general public to know that I'm a great realtor because I support this event. And in the lead up to this event, as a sponsor, they're going to push out more of my content. So again, it's like a synergy thing. Everything's kind of aligning and coming together. But not even that, I too wanted to give back even more because all of these guests were coming to this event and they were giving me presents. I don't need presents. I don't need more bottles of wine. I'm grateful, thank you. But, the first year, I think I got like 25 bottles of wine underneath my tree and they just appeared. Like I didn't even like after the party, I was like, what are all these presents, right? Well, and so instead of doing that, I now collaborate with one of my former clients. And, this it's a little bit of a sad story. Unfortunately, my first year, they did attend the party with their son. And unfortunately, he passed away from meningitis right after that. And it was one of his fondest memories was going to the parade. And they started a charity in his honor to bring gifts and blankets and things that'll make kids feel more at home over the holidays while they're stuck in the hospital like their son was. And so instead of bringing a gift for me, I do not accept gifts. I ask everyone to please bring a gift to the Joshua Chamberlain Project. And that's what's now underneath my tree. All of these gifts for kids who need it. And to me, that's I didn't need gifts. I have this platform and everybody wants to give a gift to a kid in need. And so we take those all down a couple of days after the parade party. And I mean, last year it took me 2 car trips full, like I have a big SUV full of toys. And that's what this giving season is supposed to be about. And so
Mhm.
being able to hit all of those things, like I don't even ask for referrals at this party. I just provide this space. I just put this on for people to enjoy. But, at the end of the day, I am a realtor. And so people remember that and they remember how I've helped them. And it's just such a perfect time of year because going into December, and this is early December that we do this event, they're thinking, oh, Olivia's great. If anybody who's thinking and selling in spring, reach out. And then remember at January, I go with the full actual ask. So
Right.
that is really how I set my year up for success. And I mean, I sell about 60 houses a year, and I would say at least 75% come from this program.
Yeah. And listen, this is what I want people to understand also as I'm thinking about this. I mean, you're doing a big party, but you've got a sponsor for the music. You've got your own place, so you don't have to do this. Anybody that's got an event in their local community, you can host this, whether it's at your house or just having a
Buy
gathering.
into it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then one of the things, if we break this down, if we did the 50 drop bys, we were looking somewhere in the neighborhood of about $30 total for those 8 or so drop bys per year. That's like $1,500.
Yeah.
You've got the alcohol taken care of. I know you're buying the food, you're providing the space, you're doing your sponsorship. So maybe it runs you $5,000. So you're $8,000 into this. You just talked about doing 60 deals, 75% of that coming from that one deal,
One deal
one
paid for it all.
for the
All
whole
of it.
year. And
And I
so
already
I would
get,
just
I usually
encourage
get
people.
1 or 2 at the party.
Right. Yeah. And so I would just
Yeah.
encourage you guys, no matter where your business is right now, find a way
Yeah,
to
to
do
use
this, to
it.
build your VIP list, to find some small ways to say thank you, to get engaged with your folks, find a way to build as you grow with this. And I'll promise you, this right here, that we just went through, if you would just follow that plan in your local community, you will absolutely thrive in your real estate
Exponential,
business.
right. You will,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'll,
Olivia, this has
and
been
it's
great.
fun.
Let me,
It's really
yeah,
fun.
and it's fun. And this is the way,
It
and
doesn't
it goes
feel
back to
like
your,
work, you know?
no, and it plays, every single bit of this plays right into giving excellent service, your three tenants, also building relationships, and then of course building community. So from that standpoint, everything falls right in line. If people wanted to follow you, because I would highly suggest they follow you because they can see a lot of this stuff on
Please,
social
yeah,
media as
yeah.
well,
Or
where
reach
would
out
they
to
go
me
to find
anytime.
you?
I
Okay.
have all of my handles are the same. I am Olivia with a Y. Don't forget it. Olyvia. My last name is Salyer. All of my handles are just my name, Olyvia Salyer. Please follow me. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok are my main. But I do want to tell everyone I'm an open book. I'm here to help all of us rise with the tide. You know, if you want to know how I do something, I'm more than happy to share. So feel free to reach out anytime.
Such good stuff. Reach out, let Olivia know how much you appreciate this, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.